And we are live. How you doing, everybody? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to the Rollingearthship podcast. Uh, YouTube, uh, yeah, maybe a podcast in the future. I tried doing a podcast last year, and it turned out to be more complicated than it was complicated. It wasn't. It was a nightmare. I had, what was I using, the computer? Yeah, I think I was using a computer. I had to download. Oh, I'm a little itchy. If I'm a little itchy, is because I just took a shower. I just came from Planet Fitness, and the water just dries me out, and then it makes me itchy. So I'm sorry about that. But it was a nightmare. I had to download the software. I signed up with with a company that produces podcasts, and then I downloaded that, but then you needed something else called Shoutcast and Screencast and quiet, and this cast and this cast. I have no clue. I mean, for people like me who don't know how to do, never done a podcast, it's I don't know about radio. This stuff is just too complicated. If you don't know it, you just don't know what to look for, and it was too complicated, so I never did anything. But I do have an app on my phone, and I've had it since then, and I think this app allows, they do everything for you. So I might be doing a podcast. What should I call it? The Rolling Earthship Unhinged, or Rolling Earthship um, rant, something. I don't know, something. But that might be fun. I might do something. Is this going to annoy you? Um, Sorry, I have to. If I don't have this phone plugged in, it dies just like that. It's dead on arrival. I have to change the battery on this thing. I see a lot of comments there. Let me get to the YouTube ski with this phone, and then I can answer some of your questions, which probably are going to be very profound, extremely. I know you have profound questions, and I have profound answers. He's gonna. Oh, that's a commercial. I'm gonna let the commercial play.
Where your tomatoes come from.
6 seconds. It's my own commercial, and it's gonna. 6 seconds. Be quiet. My own commercial, and it's gonna. I'm talking over here. Be quiet. My own commercial, and it's gonna. I'm talking over here. No, I'm talking over here. Okay, enough of that. All right, I was just gonna say hi, Musa Kyle. Kyle, yes, he's the first. How you doing, Musa? Taraz Pariso. Howdy from El Paso. How you doing, Taraz? And Mark Williams. Hello, Indy here again. Mark Williams from Indiana. And Robert, TMI. What's TMI, Robert? You use for podcast blobbery or Libsyn. Robert, you are speaking in gibberish. I have no idea, Robert. No idea. Anyway, I saw that you did a live thing, and I just came out of the shower, and it was already gone. So maybe you want to repeat it again later, and then I'll watch. But I'm just kidding. Traveling Roberts is a very nice fella. He always tells everybody about me. He doesn't have to. I just say hi once in a while. And Traveling Robert, everybody, he travels around the country. He travels in a travel trailer. He just bought a truck, a new truck. His old vehicle broke down during the last hurricane we had, or the one before that. And he travels around the country. Nice channel. We'll check him out. Traveling Robert, everybody. Although he's speaking to me here in gibberish, I don't understand what that is. For podcast, blobbery or Libsyn. All right, Robert, I'll try. I'll try to look that up. I don't know what that is, but actually, let me do this. I'm going to take a screenshot. No, don't shut off. I, screenshot. Thank you. All right, Robert. I took a screenshot, and then where's the other one? Screenshot, and then I'll look that up. Okay. So I was telling everybody in the beginning, for those who just joined me, I've been wanting to do a podcast for a while now. Maybe 2 years. Maybe 2 years I've been wanting to do a podcast. Yeah, I had just met Lidia, so it's been 2 years. For 2 years I've been wanting to do a podcast, and it turned out to be more complicated than it was worth it, so I just gave up on that. But if I can find something simple where I just speak my profoundness, and then and then upload it, and it's done. I don't have to do anything else. So, all right, who else we have here? CJ Rose says hi everyone. How you doing, CJ? La Source Mike says hi. How you doing, Mike? And Bob is Van Life. Hi, Lewis. Camping lakeside in Kansas. How you doing, Bob? Catch some fish, will you? But get a license. We need licenses for everything. License for this, license for that. Like, all the government wants is more money. Money, 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 money. Gimme, 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 gimme. It's never enough. Anyway, M. Cooper. Good evening, Lewis from Virginia. How you doing, M. Cooper? I've been through Virginia quite a few times. Wendy G. Res Rent. That's a good one. Rollingearthship Rent. That's a good one. It's not just about, I would just talk about nothing. I would talk about nothing. But I would talk something into nothing. I would just, it would be good. I think it would be a nice podcast. I don't know if anyone would listen. Listen, here's the thing. I can talk in front of the camera. It used to be different. I used to have a problem in the beginning. If you look at my videos, you'll see that I was not as comfortable in front of the camera. Now I'm much more comfortable. But I can talk like this for hours, as most of you know. It's unfortunate, or fortunately, I don't know which, I can do that. But trying to record a podcast, and I tried that on my computer on the Mac comes with the program to record. I forget what it's called. There's iMovie. There's the other GarageBand. And I try recording something in there, and I'm telling you, it's not easy because you don't have a visual. You know, with the visual, I can stop for a second, go like this. And you know that I'm thinking profound things, but if I stop on the radio or podcast, and all you hear is silence, you don't know what's going on. So it's not easy, I'm telling you, it's not an easy thing. I might try that in the future. Tara says he's profoundly full of it. No words on that. Brian GT 101. Hi, Lewis. How you doing, Brian? Elves Lord Journeys. Hey, Lewis. How you doing, Elves? Scotty Richard Studio. Yo. How you doing? Talking to me? TMI, too much information. M. Cooper said, Thanksgiving plans. No, no plans. Um, Ever since I got, my family got split up, holidays to me, I just celebrate them quietly. I don't know if I'm going to see the kids that weekend or not. I don't know if it's my turn to have them. Um, so I don't know, but so far, no plans specifically. Janet Bender. Hi, Lewis from Winchester, Virginia. How you doing, Janet? I don't remember seeing you before, but welcome to the channel. Antique Hippies. Gail and Bill. You thought I forgot your name, didn't you? Tell me the truth. You thought I forgot? No, I didn't forget. Gail and Bill. Good evening, Rollingearthship Raw. Rollingearthship Raw. Yeah, I'll come up with a good name. If I do it, I'll come up. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Traveling Robert has to go. See you on the road. See you, Robert. Wendy G. Love traveling Robert too. Nice guy. I met him once at the Tampa RV show. Super show. I'm sorry. It's a super show. It's not just an RV show. It's a super show. Martha Vasquez. Hi, Lewis. I was just watching Lidia channel. Martha, it's Lidia with an I. Just Lidia likes it with an I. It's an I, not a Y. Just letting you know. But yeah, I'm sure she appreciates that. I watched her video too. It just came out. It's fresh out of the oven, still hot. Go watch it. Lots of profound blah blah blah. So go watch the blah blah blah. Tara says possible podcast name RES Rant. Eh, something. We'll figure something out. Scotty asks, what is the most stealthy parking place you stayed overnight? The most stealthy parking place? Well, Scotty, beat me up, Scotty. I know you never said that, but it's still funny. But anyway, Scotty, and don't tell me that there's no more power. There's no more power, Captain. We are not. Don't tell me. But here's the thing: the parking places are not stealthy. You are asking me what is the most stealthy parking place? Parking places are parking places. The stealth comes from the person parking in those places. So in other words, I will try to be stealthy with my vehicle and with my ingenuity, and hopefully nobody knocks on it. That would be funny. I'm speaking about my ingenuity and being stealthy, and all of a sudden, sir, open up! We know you're in there! Get out! That would be funny for you people, not for me. Anyway, so maybe you have a point. What's the most stealthiest place? I still think it's not the place that's stealthy. I think I'm right. Forgive me if I'm wrong and you are right, but I think I am right, because it's not the place that's stealthy. It's the person parking that's stealthy. So I've never had an issue. Right now I'm parked. This is a beautiful place. There's a hotel on either side of me. There's like a parking lot in the middle, and I think this parking lot, there's no signs that say that, but over the years of staying here, I've noticed that this is probably a park and ride place. Because a lot of times, especially in the winter when I stayed here, sometimes I stayed here for weeks at a time because I wasn't working. And I've noticed that there were vehicles here parked for weeks at a time, and then there was other vehicles here, and then there would be a bus coming by in the afternoon. People would come out of the bus getting their vehicles. So I'm pretty sure this is a park and ride. It sits between two hotels. Beautiful place. I park here. I've been parking here for years. I can park here the whole week, couple weeks in a row. Nobody says a word. Nobody knows anything. So it's beautiful. Um, there's lots of places you can park, but all that depends on your vehicle and depends on how you approach things. You can have a stealthy vehicle, but if you make a lot of noise, if you turn lights on and off and people can see that from the outside, if you have pets and you have to go in and out, you're going to give yourself out. People will notice you and you're not going to be stealthy. So, yeah, it depends on the person, depends on the vehicle, and all that stuff. Anyway, Brian GT, can you do a video on piecing together a solar system for a van? I have those videos, Brian. Um, I have all those videos about my solar installation. I have all that. Um, I don't know how much more specifically you want me to be, but my earlier videos, I even go on a playlist. They're all there. Solar installation, this installation, it's all there. So I don't know if maybe I can make them better because those videos are old and I talked a little slower and yeah, there were a lot of and stuff like that. But I did all that, so you may want to check that out. And maybe in the future I will do a newer video on all that. So yeah, Antique Hippies. I like podcasts, especially when you are traveling and have weak internet. Yeah, I have to confess I don't listen to anybody on a podcast. Um, I'm busy with stuff. But if I could do maybe like a half hour, if I could just do blah 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 for a half hour, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's another commitment. But there's like no edit. I mean, there's still editing. I can still do the editing. If I do the podcast, if I record on the on my computer, I can still edit parts that you know of silence. If I'm just thinking what to say for 5 minutes, I can cut that out. So, but preferably I would just do the whole 30 minutes with no cuts, just unhinged. Uh, you know, uh, we'll see what happens. I just need the time. I just don't have. I work full time, and then after work I have to go take a shower, eat, talk to Lydia, eat a snack, talk to Lydia, do some editing, do this, talk to Lydia. I mean, it's just not a lot of time. Um, how are you? How are your new batteries working for you? Batteries working great. I'm at 12.6, working great so far. I love them. I'll do a video on that. I'm going to do a video on this about having more amps than watts. So for those of you that don't know much about solar stuff, watts is the solar panel. What's on first and who's on second, and I don't know who's on third. No, who's on first? I don't know who's on third. Something like that. But watts is the solar panel, and amps is your battery capacity, and and 12 volt is the battery type, and so all that stuff. So I'm gonna make a video about the pros and cons of having more amps than watts, and now I have more amps than watts. Before I had 250 amps, and now I have 510 amps of battery power, and I have 325 watts. So yeah, it's, I'll make a video on that. I'll be more specific. Antique hippies, you could play Jeopardy music while you are thinking. I'll just play it in my head. Oh, but then you can't listen. James Grimmett. How you doing, James? Good evening, Lewis. It's been a while since I've seen. My wife and I just got back from Myrtle Beach, and it was a great time. There wasn't much storm damage, and the weather was perfect. Very good. Glad you had a good time, James. Keith Graham says hi. How you doing, Keith? Elf's Lord's Journeys says, watch out for guys living down by the river in a van. I'm not, I was going to say I'm not by a river, but actually I am. There's a river not far from me this direction. I'm not far from the river. Wendy G, what subjects would you discuss on a podcast? I would talk. My original idea about podcasts would be to talk about van-related stuff, but not just van-related stuff, about everything in general. You know, whatever pops out of my mind, really. So a lot of I mean, it of course it's going to center around the van life. That's why you folks came to my channel, because of I live in a van, and you are interested in about people that live in vans. But as I said before, living in a van does not define me, does not put me in a category, it does not put me in a box. So I do live in a van. I love living in a van, but I have my own ideas. I have my own mind. I don't necessarily agree with everybody living in vans. So I would talk about different subjects, day-to-day subjects, current events, and life in general, always related to or centering around the fact that I live in a van. So that's probably what I would talk about. Well, Taraz keeps insisting that you folks hit the thumbs up. You keep saying that. So thank you, Taraz. Thank you very much. So folks, hit the thumbs up. What are you waiting for? It doesn't cost you anything. I won't charge. Well, I might charge a little bit, but not much. So hit the thumbs up. What's going on there? 19. Well, come on, one more. I see you over there. You're not hitting the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. I can see that it's not going up. Hit it. There you go. Thank you. All right. Chef Santa Cato asks, you ever get any more cameras? I didn't buy any cameras yet. Still waiting on stuff, and as soon as I have stuff in the stuff, then I get more stuff, and as soon as I get the stuff, you'll know that I got stuff. That's all the stuff I got. Antique hippies, police can tell by condensation on the windows. Not necessarily. I don't get much condensation on my windows. I have the vents open even in the winter. I don't have my fantastic vent running, but I do have these two little vents open for ventilation. Now, you can get condensation in a window even if you're not in a vehicle. If it's winter and it's cold and you travel in your vehicle and you have the heat on, and then you let's say you go home, you stop, you park your car, you're going to have all that heat in there. With the cold outside, you're going to have condensation in the windows. I know that because sometimes in the winter I have the heat in the front, and because of that heat it condenses on the windows, and there you go, voila, I get condensation. Even the opposite could be true. I could be in the summer, I could have the AC on, it's hot outside, and then there's going to be condensation. So that could happen regardless if you are in a vehicle or not. Ooh, flash flood. We're going to have a nor'easter, folks. It's supposed to be rain and wind, so it's going to be a messy day tomorrow. And I'm going to see the kitties again tomorrow. So we may have to go somewhere where it's nice and cozy. CJ Rose, I'm sorry. The wood in your van is nice. Do you think the weight of the wood makes enough difference in the gas mileage to worry about? You know, when I built my van, I never worried about the gas mileage. Some people are like fanatics. Oh, what's the gas mileage? I'm doing 16.5 miles per gallon. I might get to 17 by next week. I gotta watch out. I really don't care. This is my home. I'm not paying rent. I'm not paying utilities. So if I spend an extra $10 a week or $20 a week, I really don't care, because this is my home. With the weight that I have, I'm a little bit over 1,000 pounds underweight. I think the gross weight for my van is 8,600 pounds, and I'm about 7,500 pounds. So I'm underweight, and the weight of the wood doesn't really bother me, because I wanted to have these cabinets. I want to be able to live in here and store my stuff instead of having stuff in bags all over the place. I want to store as much stuff as I can. Over here I have my cast iron skillet. I have my coffee stuff. I have some more pots and pans and plates and everything. So I couldn't store all this stuff. And this area here began as a desk. When I began in the van, I made this area as a desk. And then I had a little board over here so stuff wouldn't fall off. And I had a smaller shelf up here that would go further in. And then over time, I never used the desk, and I would put stuff up here. And then I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should make the shelf a little bit bigger. So I made the shelf a little bit bigger. I still wasn't using this as a desk. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make it, and I have those videos. You can look up those videos. I made these sliding doors. I made the shelf bigger, so it would come all the way to the edge. I put this little board in here so stuff wouldn't fall off. And then I made these drawers. You can't see them right now, but you've seen my drawers before. And yeah, so I'm not really worried about mileage. Mileage, it is what it is. If I do 14 miles per gallon, I'll do 14 instead of 16. What do I care? I mean, it doesn't really bother me. If you're thinking of living in a van or a vehicle, I wouldn't really be worried about your gas mileage. I mean, do you want to be comfortable? If you want good gas mileage, then get a small little car with good mileage, and you can do 40 or 50 miles per gallon. But if you want to be comfortable, then you can't worry about gas mileage so much. Okay, if you get a ProMaster, or I think even the Ford Transit, I think they have a little bit better mileage than my van. But that aside, it shouldn't really matter, you know. And I can't stop myself. I just keep blah 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 blah. But thank you. That was a good question, though. Simon Davey, how you doing, Simon? Hey Lewis, it's been a while, so I just bought my van. Congratulations. It's blinking, freezing here in the UK, but it's my ambition to phase in to the van life by next summer. Much love from the UK. Very good, Simon. Simon is a writer and an editor in the UK, and he's moving to a van. You're gonna save lots of shmoola. What do you call them over there? pounds, ounces, pounds. Uh, Simon Davis says, indeed, from a hotel in South London, you've been the talk of my office recently. I've been the talk of your office? What did I do? You may be responsible for a movement away from bricks and sticks here in the UK. No! I'm the reason. You may be responsible. Okay, let me rephrase this. You may be responsible for a movement away from bricks and sticks here in the UK. No, I don't want to be responsible for any of that stuff. That's too much responsibility. But it's only you. I mean, I guess that's how movements start, with one person, but you are implying that there's more people doing that. Don't blame me for anything. I'm just a guy over here across the pond, living in a van, minding my own business, working full time. I'm not traveling full time because I have responsibilities. I have to work. Otherwise, I would be here begging you folks for FREE air. Please send me some FREE air. I'm in desperate need of some. Please make your donations below the video. Much appreciated. I mean, it's winter, and the FREE is FREE. 2 E's, not 3. Is going down. I need some free stuff. So FREE air. I need some of that. So anyway, I have nothing to do with that, Simon. No, nothing. Don't blame me if it doesn't work out. If it does, then you can congratulate me. But if it doesn't, don't blame me. I had nothing to do with it. Taraz has to go. Taraz, nice seeing you. Simon, are you coming to Europe at any point? Probably not, Simon. I have not been back to Europe or Portugal for over 30 years. Never went back. So, and I'm not too keen of planes either. So I don't know. I don't know when. I don't know. I have no idea. No idea. If I happen to go there, maybe I can go around and see some stuff. Maybe I know I have subscribers all over Europe. It would be nice. Of course, I couldn't bring my van, but it would be nice to maybe rent something. You know, go around a few countries in Europe and see a little bit of Europe. I've never really seen much of Europe. Les Mike says hitchhiking. Go across. No, I'm not a hitchhiker. I used to hitchhike when I was in high school, but I wouldn't do it now. Those were different days. I wouldn't do it. Simon says, it's messy here, rainy, windy, cold, and generally bad enough to make me want to head to Florida. Well, you are in UK, Simon. It's always cloudy, raining, or something like that. It should be expected. Blaine's mom, the wood probably compensates for the seats that are not in this cargo van. Blaine's mom, cargo vans usually don't have extra seats. The cargo vans are just, as the name implies, it's a cargo van. 2 seats in the front, the back is for cargo. So it was never meant to have seats in here. I take that back. I guess you could put seats in here, but it didn't have any seats. So yeah, no seats. James Gill, I would think the wood isn't a lot of weight, probably only a few sheets of plywood and 2x4s. What's in the cabinets probably adds more. I don't have any 2x4s. I think people that I mean, I did use in a high top van I used some 2x3s. My van doesn't have any 2x4s or 2x3s. I have smaller wood, and I have basically the plywood for support because it takes a lot of room, and I didn't want to waste room in here. I don't have a lot of room to begin with. So my bed is really nice and sturdy, but I don't use any 2x4s or 2x3s. There's a high top van for a friend of mine that I did use, I think, 2x3s. Yeah, I think it was 2x3s, only because it's a high top van, and I could use the 2x3s for extra support, the way I built the bed and stuff. But there's still plenty of room underneath the bed. But yeah, as far as the plywood, how many sheets of plywood? You would be surprised. I have quite a few sheets of plywood in here because, like, these dividing pieces here in the front, right? I have two sides, so each side is like each piece. Well, of course, it has a piece on this side, my side, and then it has a piece on the front side. So each side is like a piece of plywood, because by the time I cut it, there's not enough left to do the other side. So there's two pieces of plywood right there, and then I have quite. You'd be surprised how much plywood I have in here. I'm just looking to see if there's anybody next to me because I'm talking loud, but it is what it is. Um, Ghosty, hi. Is stealth parking at hotels good? Starting in May, and worry about sleeping spots. Thanks. I stay at hotels all the time. I love staying out of hotels. Some places I can park on the street, but I haven't parked on the street in a long time. In the last 4 years, I parked once on the street. In the beginning, when I was beginning in the van, there was a place not far from work that I parked at the street on the street. It was a one-way, relatively quiet street. Actually, it didn't have almost any traffic, and I parked there. But I found that there's so many other places that I don't really have to park on the street, and I love parking out of hotels. If you have the right vehicle, of course, if you have animals and the animals have to go out like dogs, unless you take them out before you go to the hotel, you're going to have issues. If your dogs bark, you're going to have issues because you're going to have people parking next to you. They close their doors, make noise. The dogs are going to start barking, and people will know that there's people in here, or maybe they think that you left your pet in here, and they may call the police or the hotel or something. So if you don't have pets, or if you have well-behaving pets, and you have a vehicle that's stealthy, that you can uh, be in here like I am with the lights on and nobody outside can see anything, or if you go into a hotel and once you go in there you just go to sleep so you don't have any lights on, then you're going to be fine. And I park at hotels all the time. Just go in, find the place that you want to park your vehicle. That's how I do it. I find a place that I like to park. I park. Just go in like you belong there. Park, and I turn my lights off. Sometimes I have the van running a little bit, and then I just look around a little bit, make sure nobody's looking, and then I go in the back. I'm much more comfortable doing this than I used to be. Um, and I was always comfortable doing it, but I was a little more cautious in the beginning. And the more I do it, the more uh, I do it better. But there's places that I go to, and I'm more careful. So you have to judge where you're going. You can't just go somewhere. Some hotels are not good. Some small hotels with only a car or two in there, it's not good. The more cars in there, the better. You blend in better. So I think you'll be fine at hotels. Just be careful. Don't move around in the vehicle. Don't turn the lights on too much. Make sure nobody can see you inside. be quiet and don't talk loud like I'm doing right now. And you're gonna be fine. Bob's van life. Totally agree with Mouse Prime. It's my home and I want to be comfortable. 27 months now. What's 27 months? Over 2 years. Okay. I'm going on 5. I'm almost going on 5. Next spring will be 5 years in a van. 5 years. It went by so quick. I still remember when I bought my van, and this was just a blank canvas, just an empty cargo van. And I went to Walmart and I bought a sleeping bag and an air mattress. That's all I had. That's all I had. A couple little other things, and that's it. And I was happy. And if that's all I had today, I would still be happy. But everything that I have makes my life better. The lights, I used to have lights from Walmart, battery operated, and they would be great in the beginning, but then by the end of the month, they would last about 30 days. They would be so dim, I couldn't hardly see anything in here. So everything that I have, it's not necessary for happiness, but it does improve life. Like the lights, the vents, refrigerator, the cooking stuff, the Jeff Attack, the Webasto. All these things improve life in the van. You don't have to have them, but they improve your life. And it makes me feel like I'm in a regular apartment or home. I have everything I need. You are home watching this. You have a couch to sit. I have a place to sit too. You have a bed. I have a bed. You have TV. I have a TV. You have lights. I have lights. You have vents. I have vents. You have central heating. I have central heating. You have internet. I have internet. What else do you have that I don't have? Oh, you may have a mortgage and rent. I don't have that. Sorry. Uh, Lloyd Bob Price. Hi, Lewis from North Carolina. Political ads driving us crazy before the election. We voted absentee ballot. No lines for us on election day. Very cool. Nothing like voting early. You don't have to be in line. Simon says they have pounds or quid. Every time I hear an English show and they say quid, guess what the word is that I assimilate the quid with? You probably guessed it, maybe not. Squid. I'm like, oh, we got 10 quid, squid. I don't know what's a quid. I don't know what's a pound. I mean, I know it's a measure of monetary units, but I don't know what a quid. If I went there, I wouldn't know what a. I mean, I guess it says on the money, pound and quid. I guess the pound is like 1 pound is like $1. That's the monetary unit, I guess. And I guess the quid is fractions of the pound. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Ron S. Lewis, very cool live chat. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. James Grimmett. There is an election coming up next. When you are on the road, is it hard to vote when you are not close to your home state? How do you get ballot when your post office box, Minnesota? My post office box is not in Minnesota. I have a real address with Dakota Post in South Dakota, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. My mail goes there, and then anytime I want to, I call them up, and I have my mail delivered anywhere in the country. So it doesn't matter where I am. Right now I'm over here in New Jersey, Pennsylvania. I can have the mail go to my P.O. box in Pennsylvania, and then I can pick it up here, or I can have it sent general delivery to any place in the country, any place that accepts general delivery. So there's lots of ways to get the mail. That's the least of my problems, is getting my mail. Simon Davis says, Your videos are the reason behind Mott's procrastination at work. Oh my, I'm causing people from 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 um, from doing their work. Don't blame me on that either. I'm not responsible for that. I appreciate it, but I'm not responsible for your folks' laziness over there watching videos. Should be working, not watch videos. But if you're gonna watch videos, watch my videos and Lydia's. uh, Roy. I'm sorry. I was gonna say Ron. Roy McCrae. Howdy, Lewis. How you doing, Ron? Roy. I'm messing up your name because you like the Cubbies, so I should call you Ron. Nancy Wolf. Seven Wonders in England right now. I don't know who Seven Wonders is. Seven Wonders. There's seven. Oh, there's seven wonders in England. I thought there was only a couple. I don't know. Maybe you have to specify that. Um, Mike says hitchhiking is putting a thumbs up. I know that, Mike. I've done that. I know. I won't do it though. I don't want to do that. I've done that when I was younger. I don't want to do that. Mystic Wonder 2000. I'm new watching you. How long have you lived in a van? Also, how did you come up with the idea? Was it your own idea? Um, well, Mystic, I just mentioned a couple minutes ago, maybe just joined us. I've been living in a van going on 5 years. Five. Fits in my whole hand. 5 years. It was not my idea. It's not my original idea. There's lots of folks living in vans when I started. That's people have been living in vans and vehicles for decades. I actually, before I knew about people that lived in vans, I lived in my minivan for 3 months in a winter, from October through December, 3 months. So I lived in a minivan, so I had a little bit of experience in that. But no, it was not my idea. I was actually looking for other things, and then I came across people living in vans. I'm like, huh, I can do this. I've done it before. How hard can it be? Yeah, so I mean, I had to do it in the beginning, but then I just loved it, and I wouldn't think of being in a house, so I just love it. And I get to speak with so many of you across the world, and I've gotten to meet many of you, so I wouldn't have been able to do that living in a house unless I had a YouTube channel. But yeah, I just love it. It's not easy. I'm not. Don't confuse me loving living in a van with being easy. Nothing is easy in life, but I love doing it. So when you love something or you have to do something, in the beginning I had to do it, and I was fine. I from the beginning I was fine doing it. It was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. That's my mentality. I mean, not everybody is cut out to live in a vehicle or a van or RV. My mentality was, I'm going to live in my van, or if I wasn't living in a van, I would live in my car, or I would live in a tent. I would live anywhere. I would manage. I would survive. That's my mentality. I would survive regardless, and that's where I am today. I'll survive and regardless. And but today I love doing it, and and I'll continue doing it for, who knows how long. D Palladino says, "Hi Lewis, I do an blah, blah, blah. D. I wanted to say Dean. D Palladino. Simon says. Simon says. Did you get that one? Simon says. Simon Davies says, "This is a question that is far too sensible for me, but my partner Ria asks how you plan for retirement or illness whilst living in a van. She thinks about these things much more than I do. Well, for retirement, uh, if you lived in a house, you're still going to retire. But if you live in a house, you're still stuck paying rent or mortgage. And if you live in a van, you don't have to pay rent or mortgage. And you are free to roam anywhere you want. And your bills are going to be a lot less than if you lived in a house, renting or paying a mortgage. So, so that's the retirement thing. As far as health, I'm not God. You know, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you can't live your life thinking, what if? So you're going to have to live your life and let God worry about tomorrow, and you just worry about today. Now, there's nothing wrong with planning. You know, we people like to plan for the future, even though the future isn't ours. We don't own the future. We just own the now. We're just here in the now. A minute from now, we may not be here. None of us know that. So we can plan, but we don't know what's going to happen. And I intend on living in a van for a long time. But I do have Lydia, so there's the two of us now. And of course, we couldn't live in this van. It's much too smaller. So we need a bigger vehicle for the both of us. Or maybe a sailboat she wants to sell. So we may be selling in the future. I don't know. Maybe selling to England, to Europe. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But if something happens in the future, at least you're able to save more money because you're living in a van versus paying rent or mortgage. So if somebody's going to get sick, they're going to get sick regardless. And you really can't think about that. So don't live your life thinking, what if I get sick? What if I break a leg? What if this? What if that? Deal with it when it comes. And then just go from there, you know. P stutter. Did I stutter saying that? P, it's a lady. So it's probably Paula. Is it Paula? Let me know if I was right. Paula. Hi from Iowa. How you doing, P? I was just in Iowa not long ago. I'm the Veninator. Edwin. Edwin. I am correct. How you doing, Edwin? Greetings, Lewis, and everyone from Tucson, Arizona. Sofiana de la Fuente says, hi, Lewis. How you doing, Sofiana? James Gill. Quid is slang for pound, like buck is for dollar. Oh, okay. So give me $5. Okay, I know what that is. Somebody says, give me $5. Okay. I'm not going to give them 5 animals, the ones that are called bucks. I know what they want. I have $5. So if I was in England, somebody says, give me 5 quid. So it's 5 pounds. Okay. Gotcha. But why name it squid? I mean quid. That's kind of odd. I think buck sounds a lot better than squid. I mean quid. I don't know, but with the English accent, it might sound a little better. So, but it's good to know. Now I know. Now when I hear somebody on a show or something on TV or movie or whatever, and they say quid, now I know what they mean. They mean pound. Okay. Thank you very much for the information. Simon David, 1 pound is the formal. Oh, now Simon says 1 pound is the formal term for the colloquial quid, a bit like dollars are informally called bucks. A dollar or buck. Okay, got it. What? Okay, the fraction of the pound is the pence, like the fraction of the dollar is the cent. Okay, see, I'm learning things every day. You got the pound, which could be a quid, and then you have the pence. So 100 pences, you call them pences, or 100 pence is a pound. And I'm assuming that you weigh if uh, the weight equals a pound, or maybe at one time it equaled a pound, something like that. Um, Nancy Wolf, is this only the this is only his third video tonight? If he is on, I think he's. Um, I still don't know who that is. I'm the Venator. What's your opinion on the Mad Bomber bomber bummer not bomber bomber it's it's coming out wrong. Bummer bomber I can't say it. It's not coming out of my mouth. Bomber bummer okay, you know what I mean. um what's my take, my opinion? Apparently he was a van dweller. I just saw some things. I don't know if he was a van dweller. He had a van, but that doesn't mean he was a van dweller. You know, lots of people have vans, but they're not van dwellers. And even if he was a van dweller, that doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? What about when somebody has a house and they do stuff bad, and everybody in the house is put in the same pot? I don't think so. So that doesn't mean anything. And we don't know all the information yet. So we'll see what happens. Mike Brown. Evening, Lewis. Good evening, Mike. Nancy. G Darts. G Darts. What is it? What is G? Gina? Jaina? G Darts. I don't want to change the topic, but we just did. But I will. Seriously, can you tell me how to go heaven? You seem that you know the answer. What do you mean, how to go heaven? How to go to heaven? I don't have all the answers. The Bible is very clear how do you get to heaven. So don't take the answer from me. You should pick up your Bible and read it. But Jesus said, Nicodemus asked him some questions. You should read about that. And Jesus said, unless you are born again, you shall not inherit the kingdom of God, or you shall not go to my Father. And Nicodemus said, you know, how can, you know, me, I'm an old man, how can I be born again? I can't go back into my mother's womb. And Jesus told him that he was talking about a spiritual rebirth. And then in other passages, the Bible says that, or Jesus himself said that, unless, if you want to go to the Father, unless you go through me, Jesus was speaking, unless you go through me, you will not go through the Father. So the answer is very clear. You have to believe in Jesus Christ, Jesus the Messiah. And in case you don't know, Christ and Messiah is the same thing. Christ is the Greek side of the alphabet of the words. It came to us through the Greek, and Messiah came to us through the Hebrew, so which is Mashiach in Hebrew. So they're both the same. And they're not a name. Messiah and Christ is not a name. It's a title. It means anointed one. So unless and I mentioned this before, Christianity is very divisive. Christianity is not a kumbaya thing that anybody, it's not inclusive. Okay, not everybody makes it. Christianity is divisive because there's only one God. There's only one Savior. There's only one way to go to God, and that's through Jesus Christ, Jesus the Messiah, Yeshua. And there's no other way. And if you don't believe in Jesus, and God is not going to force you. But if you don't believe in him as your Lord and Savior, because Jesus is not just a man, Jesus is God in flesh. Jesus is God incarnated. Jesus is God become man. And if you don't believe in him, you're not going to make it. So the Bible is very plain, and it it is what it is. It's not inclusive. It's divisive. But God, on the other hand, doesn't force you to believe anything. So God gives the decision to you, for you to make individually. Just like the angels, God created the angels, and like He created us with free will. He also created the angels with free will, and the angels lived much more perfectly than we do. I mean, the angels live right there before the throne of God, and the angels, some of them sinned and fell from God's presence, and we did the same thing. Uh, but that's something that everyone has to decide. God's not going to force you. Lloyd Price, have never seen you use the paperback books. Why not chunk them and you reuse the space? Um, well, Lloyd, if I was filming 24/7 and you were watching me 24/7, and if you saw that I never read these books all the time that I've been in the van, then you'd be correct. But just because I don't film myself using them on video doesn't mean I don't use them. Correct? Um, Simon Davey, never chuck books away. They are spirit. They add spirit to a space. I had a wall to wall, floor to ceiling library. I loved my books. I read so many. I would read about a book a week. I just read, and I love reading, and I haven't read much lately. But and I don't have room for books now. I have them on Kindle because I can carry a Kindle much easier than I can carry 1,000 books. Rodney Toe, good evening, Lewis. Good evening, Rodney. Enjoy your channel. Since watching, I started making flapjacks on Sunday morning. I saw the episode where you fixed dark chocolate flapjacks. How was they? How were they? Are they too rich? Yes. Just checking my surroundings here. I like chocolate, but the idea of having flapjacks with that chocolatey taste for breakfast, it just didn't go well with me. Maybe for like making them for a dessert, which I didn't think of that. I just thought of that now. Maybe like after dinner or something, you make a couple for dessert. That could be a good idea. You make a couple chocolate flapjacks and put a little bit of organic maple syrup on them. Put a couple scoops of ice cream, and I'm sure that's going to be a delicious dessert after dinner. For breakfast, not so much. Um, I wasn't a fan. I don't like. I don't. They also have cinnamon. I don't like the cinnamon too much either. I have peanut butter. I'm not crazy about the peanut butter. I just like the regular flapjack. I mean, they have a couple different ones. They have the protein packed. They have something else packed. I forget which one it is. Protein and then something else that I really like. But other than that, yeah, I don't like the other ones. Gina Loya, joining you while out to sushi. Sushi! Oh, Lydia's been trying to make me eat sushi. Ugh. Ugh. By my beautiful self. Glad to see you back live. Gina is are you eating sushi right now? Sorry about that. So Gina is eating sushi and watching me live throw up about the sushi in a sushi restaurant. Lydia's been trying to have me eat sushi, and I said no, I'm not going to eat it. And then she goes, "Well, what if we were on a boat and we didn't have any food, and what would you do?" Well, if I didn't have any food, then I guess I would have to eat sushi. You know, if I didn't have a way to cook it, didn't have anything else, yeah, you're gonna eat. You're gonna do whatever it takes. And if I couldn't find any fish, then Lydia would be on the menu. Shh, hush, hush, mush, mush. Don't tell her I said that. Don't say nothing. Do not go to Lydia and tell her I say that. Just hush, hush, mush, mush. I never said that. Never said that. Never. There's a truck going by. You know, it's getting a little bit cooler in here. I feel, you know what? I just turned my Webasto on. It's 73 in here, but believe me, 73 in the fall, when it's going to go down to the 30s tonight, feels much cooler, much colder than 73 in the summer. It just feels much colder. You can feel the coldness begin to seep in, especially by your feet. So, yeah, I just turned my Webasto on. I don't know if you can hear it. It's gonna warm me up. I'm gonna leave it on right now like this. I don't, you probably can't tell, but it's gonna be about 72 or so, 75 all night. Pretty cozy. All right, so where am I? Oh, Peggy. Stutter or stutter. I'm stuttering about stutter. Peggy. How you doing, Peggy? I was close. Peggy, Paula. Close. Gina Loya. A1 Ichiban in Eureka, California. A1 Ichiban. Gina is in Eureka, California. My favorite place to be in California. You should watch my videos traveling out west. I loved Eureka. It was not really. I went to the Planet Fitness Eureka. There was a weird guy there, or two weird guys, or one guy that was in two guys that looked like one, something like that. It was really weird. I ended up not going to that Planet Fitness, and then I went down to Santa Rosa, and I went to the Planet Fitness there. But you should see that video, Westward Bound, and you see why I did not stay at the Planet Fitness, and I kept going. So a lot of weirdos over there. I'm sure you're not one of them. But you are watching a guy that lives in a van. Gina, what are you doing, Gina? You are eating sushi, watching a guy that lives in a van. You gotta be pretty weird, Gina. So am I. That's, weirdness goes around, huh? All right, let's change the. Keep eating your sushi, Gina. Eat your sushi, sushi, whatever that stuff is. Erwin, what did I say? Not Edwin. Erwin. I was so close, Erwin. I knew it was Erwin. I don't know why I said Edwin. I'm so close. It starts with an E. And there's a W in there. And an N. How close? I was that close. And I only met you once for a few minutes. Erwin was very nice. He met me and my daughter in Pennsylvania, and then he bought us breakfast, and it was very nice of him. And he was traveling at the time, so yeah, we only spoke maybe for about an hour or so. My daughter had to go to work, so yeah, maybe next time we'll have a little bit more time. And it was very nice meeting you. See, this is the people. I mean, because I live in a van and doing this YouTube thing, I get to meet so many people, and so far, every person that I've met has been a nice person. I haven't met any weirdos, except for that guy Bob. Bob, he lives in a van, 76 square feet or something. Um, yeah, he's a weird fellow. I don't want to be associated with people like that. Lives in a van and all, white van, weird people. Uh, anyway, James Grimmett. My wife and I are planning now to live full time in our RV soon. It seems to us the way for us to be able to retire and live comfortably. Anyway, we are looking forward to it. Absolutely. If you see, a lot of people think, and I think that was my mentality before I thought of living in a van. Um, People think that uh, they need to have a huge salary coming in. They think they have to keep working and working and working until they're 60, 65, 70, because they're not going to be able to pay the bills. And the bills mainly include either a mortgage or an apartment, rent, utilities. Of course, you could have medical bills and all that. But people get stuck on the idea that they have to keep paying all these things all their lives. But if you flip the switch and you realize that you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay mortgage. If you buy an RV and you pay it in full, you have no payments except insurance, registration, and gas, and that's it. And your backyard could be anywhere. Backyard, front yard could be anywhere in the country or anywhere you're living, any beautiful place that you may want to be at. So I'm going to turn up my Webasto a little bit because it's 73 and it knows that it's a little cool in here. So when it reaches temperature, the fan continues to run slowly, but it continues to run, and it puts a little bit of cool air by my feet. So I don't want cool air, I want hot air. So I turn it up a little bit. Come on. Oh, it's coming. I hear it. Anyway, moving on. I've been doing this for 72 minutes already. Wow. I just keep yeah, blah, 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 and I can't stop. I'm the venator. I think buck has something to do with the value of deer skins. Probably. Back in the day, they were killing buck, give me $5 for a buck. I would have been cheap. Um, J.H. Little Elect. I can't spell this. J. Little Elect. J.H. Little Elect. Lewis, I live on a sailboat for 5 years. Loved it, but I was younger. The grass is not greener. Boat is a lot of work, hard work, and costs now moving to Class A. Boat costs now moving to a Class A. Well, I mean, yeah, boating is not easy, and I don't know how old you are, but the older you get, probably the harder it is to be on a boat because there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of stuff. And Lydia kind of knows that a little bit. She knows that it's not easy, but she still has it in her mind that she wants to try it one day. And if she wants to do it, I will try it with her. I'll support her. But I know it's not going to be an easy thing. So why is my? Is it because it's warm in here? I had the Webasto running earlier. I went to take a shower. I washed my van, and I was using the power washer, and I had the vents closed, but if you use a power washer at a certain angle, water gets in through my fantastic vent because you're getting water from underneath. So I had water on a little bit of water over here on my bed. So I turned the Webasto on high while I was taking a shower, and when I came back, this was almost dry. So it was working not long ago. But it's warm in here. That's why when it's warm, it knows that it's warm and it's not putting out heat. So I have to turn it up a little bit more. Hopefully I didn't break it. That would be bad. No, I hear it picking up. I just want to have some nice heat by my feet because the floor is always colder. And it doesn't matter how much insulation you put on your floor is always going to be colder. And that's just the way it is. You hear that? You hear that now? It's gone. Oh, I feel the heat. Oh yeah, it feels nice. Hold on, folks. I gotta maneuver some stuff here to hold something here. There we go. I'm going to show you what I have. Okay, so I have this little piece of reflectix that I bent like this. Okay, and the Webasto puts heat on an angle towards my feet, towards the bed, but it kind of goes towards the refrigerator. And I don't want that heat going against the refrigerator because then the refrigerator heats up and then it has to start working to cool itself off. So I put this in front of the refrigerator and it reflects the heat back to my bed and away from the refrigerator. Very simple. It's those simple things that just work. There's nobody outside. I'm the vendor says, Lewis, your pronunciation of bummer is bummer. 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 I can't say it tonight. I don't know why I can't say it. It's just the way it is. I can't say it. JW Jr. says hola. If you're trying to say it in Portuguese, that's not how you say it in Portuguese. It's hola, but it's not spelled like that. In Portuguese, it's just O-L-A, not with an H. And in Portuguese, we don't use, it's just like in English. The exclamation point is at the end, not at the beginning and end. That's something weird that Spanish uses. I could never get used to that. So, but anyway, WHB, hope everything's going well. Very true, Simon. Bob's van life. This thing is a little loud. If you're standing outside and the Webasto is just starting up, you could hear it. It's a little loud. But once it's just doing its thing afterwards, after it heats up the van, very quiet. You almost can't hear anything. Okay. Now that it's coming up, I'm going to lower it a little bit and just leave it like that. Leave it like that all night long. It's about 75. When am I heading south, Bob? December. I keep saying that, Bob, every time. December, I'll be heading south. God willing. We never know. Gina says, yes, sushi is delicious. Good thing I had that bag over there. Oh, I even dropped the phone. Oh, sushi is delicious. Oh, you and Lydia should get together and eat sushi. I used to. I know what you know what is more delicious than sushi? Yes, cooked fish. Uh, Larry Price, ever eat tuna from a can? Yes, but it's cooked. Don't tell me it's raw. It's not raw tuna, it's cooked tuna. Greg Watkins, raw fish, yuck. I agree. Better to eat seaweed. You're not getting me to eat sushi. Sorry, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna eat that. Mia Mia says hello. How are you? I'm doing good, Mia. Mia Mia. I'm sorry, Mia Mia. Mia Mia is from Hungary. How you doing, Mia Mia? In Hungary, I work with a fella, Oleg, from Bulgaria. So Bulgaria is not far from Hungary, probably, give or take. So yeah, look, I'm all the way in. I'm in Europe. I'm in UK, Hungary. Um, cool. Gina says Eureka is so weird. Yes, we have a terrible involuntary homeless problem. Math, lack of mental and physical health services. It is an area under serious spiritual oppression. Yeah, I was all excited. I was going to see Eureka, and there's something about the name Eureka. I was going to go to Eureka, California, and then I got to Eureka, and then there was these weird fellows, and or maybe it was one guy that looked like two. I don't know. It was weird, and I wasn't there long. I just. Simon says. Sadly, it seems Eureka resonates much of London. Prayer and Christ are the solution. Only Jesus can change lives for good. Yeah. Simon says, Lewis, I'm in my front room with 5 dinner guests. It's 2:20 a.m. here, and we all wish you were here. You would make a fascinating dinner guest. Listen, I'm just a guy like everybody else. I'm on YouTube. I'm making videos. Trust me, after a couple hours, you would be bored of me. That's probably just the way it is. But thank you for the thought. 5 dinner guests. You are wasted in construction. Come get on the speakers. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But say hi to your 5 dinner guests for me. Tell them I said hi, and yeah, thank you. Larry Price says battling thermostats. Oh, for the Webasto, only has one thermostat. So yeah, right now, see, the vent is warm. The vent was already at 73. I just wanted to have my feet warm. So sue me. But that's why I had to turn it up a little bit more, because it's already warm in here. So yeah, now it's slowing down because it reached temperature. So Simon says, can we all come live with you and Van Jones? Probably not. Where is he? Is he in the basement? He's always in the basement. That's where he lives. He's very comfortable in there. I haven't sold them yet. I mean, they're very useful. So everybody's happy. It's getting a little cooler. They want to make fire in some kind of fire underneath the van. I told them I'm going to send the heat from the Webasto down there. I told him that heat sinks, and he believes it. So hush, hush, mush, mush. Don't tell him anything. Let him believe that heat sinks. So uh, the thought will warm him up. That's all. James Grimmett, thank you for your testimony on Jesus. God is great. I couldn't imagine living one day without him in my life. In the good times, he's so close, and in the bad times, he's even closer still. Very well said, James. Truly blessed. Love you and prayers to you and Lydia. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Um, Gina says, you are cracking me up with the barf bag. um, Talking about the barf bag, I have a muffin in there. I got to remember to eat that. And that's it. I got to the end. Oh, Sofiana. Sofiana says, good evening, Louis. Why ain't you out tonight? It's Fear Day. I didn't know today was Fear Day. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Fear Day, Saturday, Sunday. I usually don't go out on Fear Days. Um, I just stay in. I don't like to go much out. No, I know what you mean. Tony M. How you doing, Tony? I'm not a guy that goes out too much. I don't go to bars. I don't go to clubs. I rather be home, and it's evening. When you go out to places, when you go out, you are asking for trouble. I don't go out to any of those places. Uh, I could go out to dinner, but I already had dinner earlier today, and then I washed the van, then I washed myself. Now I'm in here talking to you folks, and that's it. I don't like going out. If I had Lydia, I mean, we could be going out somewhere, but it's different with two people. I'm just not that type of person. I don't like that. Have you tried kombucha drink? Health stores have it. I've had some a couple of years back. I got it probably at Whole Food stores. So yeah, I've had it. It's okay. I mean, I know it's healthy, but it's not something that I look for. But uh, if I remember more often, I could buy it more often. Simon says that we need to hold a van dinner party across. Well, Simon, you come over to the U.S. Me and Lydia, we might be doing a get together this winter again. So come on over, and you're welcome to join us, and then we'll have a van party. Greg says would have been my wife's birthday on Halloween. I will take a drive. She loved going for a drive on her birthday with me. Um, would have been. So I'm assuming. I think you already mentioned in the past. Maybe not. Your wife has died. I apologize. I'm sorry. Um, it's got to be tough, especially when people get along. It's got to be tough. So sorry, Greg. The get together is sometime probably in January. So we don't know yet when. So we'll let everybody know. Oh, she passed March 7th. Very sorry, Greg. I don't know if you told me that before. If you did, I apologize. I forgot. But very sorry for that. Um, Todd Debick, will you be doing any more episodes of where you see how many days you can last just eating food that's in the van? I might do that. I thought of doing it last year and then I didn't do it. So, see, when I did that, I wasn't working. So I wasn't working. I had time to cook. I had time to do different things. So it's a little different. Now that I'm working, it's a little different. It's tough to do that. So eventually, if I find the time to do that, preferably a month, then yes, I'm gonna stock up. I can't just go without stocking up. So I gotta stock up because one thing I missed the last time, and I did 21 days if I'm not mistaken. What I started missing was fruits and vegetables and all that. So I gotta stock up on fruits and vegetables and different stuff, and then whatever fits in here. Of course, I'm not gonna overfill my van with food and stuff. So whatever fills in here, except for water, I I'm gonna buy water. That's different because if I was somewhere, I could always purify water from a stream or a river or a lake. I could always boil the water, so that water would not be the issue. So I will buy water, but I will not buy anything else. So everything I have to do it myself or cook or whatever. So yeah, in the future I do want to do that again. Not just because I'll be making videos, but because I want to test myself to see how long I can go just eating what I have in here. And you save money in the process. Mystic says, I'm really enjoying listening to you. And apparently so am I. Because I keep talking and I don't stop. But I'm going to stop because I've been going for an hour and a half and 2 minutes and 40. There's nobody outside. Um, so I'm going to stop because an hour and a half is long enough. And I'm going to check. I was going to do some editing. I have a video to edit and I haven't done it. And I've been bad this week. Been very bad. I didn't do any editing yet. So sorry. Um, there's no excuses, but I was just a little bit lazy. You know, what are you going to do? Just it's cooler. I'm in here. I have the Obesto going. I'm eating dinner. I'm watching something, talking to Lydia, and blah blah blah. Much blah 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 later, and you know, Gary Spratt. How you doing, Gary? Well, Lewis. What? TTFN. What's TTFN? What's the TFN, Gary? I don't know what that is. Tata for now. I don't know. I don't know what the TFN. Anyway, folks, thank you for joining me. I am going to be seriously thinking of doing a podcast, which I've been thinking for a couple of years, but maybe this time around I'll do it, and maybe some of you will listen because I'll be unhinged. There's no hinges. There won't be any hinges whatsoever. Just completely unhinged. I guess that's why they call it unhinged, because there's not going to be any hinges. Yeah, but anyway, folks, have a good night or a good morning, depending where you are, or a good afternoon, maybe even. And I will see you next time. I don't know when that is. Maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe next week. I don't know. So I hope everybody's doing well. Take care. Be safe. Don't eat too much sushi. It's not cooked. And everybody take care, and I'll see you next time. Now comes the awkward part where I have to click the square here, the X. Okay, now I have to click end. Should I end this? I have to. You don't want to listen to me all night. So everybody, I will see you next time.